Good morning and welcome to the Rema Minute with AT. It's the season of prayer and fasting, and as we're journeying through this period, I want to share some vital lessons I drew from Apostle Joshua Selman's teaching during Restoring the Order on Minister Donsi Oyekon's YouTube channel. If you haven't been following the program, I strongly advise and encourage you to go on YouTube, watch it. Every episode is rich and it will truly bless you. So, one of the strong truths that stood out from the teaching is that God responds to posture before in response to your expression. Because worship, in its truest sense, is not first an activity, it is a posture of reverence, adoration, and honor. Spiritual activities can only carry weight when the posture of the heart is right. And this is very important in a season like this. I mean, the season of prayer and fasting, because fasting itself is an activity, but its impact is determined by your posture. It's determined by my posture. When the posture is wrong, even correct spiritual action can become empty. The teaching brought clarity to the biblical understanding of worship as, bowing, kneeling, and falling in reverence, showing that the true worship begins as an inward surrender before it ever becomes an outward expression. So it also emphasized that the object of worship must be right, for true worship is directed to the one who sits on the throne and unto the Lamb. Another sobering truth is that the state of the worshiper matters as much as the object of worship. So when something is wrong with the worshiper, everything offered, whether in prayer, in fasting, in your sacrifice, is affected. And this reminds us in this fasting season that God is more concerned about who we are becoming than merely what we are doing. Reverence was also clearly defined, not as emotion, not as a noise, not as an excitement, but as a surrender and obedience. In the context of fasting, this means that abstaining from food without alignment, without obedience, without surrender, misses the heart of what God desires. It was also made clear in that episode that the power that flows from worship is determined by the state of the worshiper. Where there is no transformation, the issue is not the spiritual exercise, but the posture behind that exercise. So, living for Jesus was emphasized that greater than merely singing to Him, but a truth that it directly shapes how we fast, how we pray, and how we consecrate ourselves. Now, another key he emphasized on was that God is a God of pattern. And I loved this part so much. He said his glory responds to divine order, not sincerity alone. In this fasting season, your zeal without alignment will not produce lasting results. Through spiritual powers flows when God's order is restored. Now, through worship and by extension, through consecration, begins with reverence in the heart and is expressed through words and is sustained by a lifestyle of surrender, and it also reflects on how we live and how we serve. So our words, our heart, our obedience must always align. So in conclusion, the season is not just about fasting, it's about restoring the order. It's about your posturing. When the posture is corrected, expression gains meaning and spiritual activities begins to produce fruit. And so once again, I encourage you, please go on YouTube, watch Restoring the Order on Minister Donsi Oyeko's channel, and watch out for Pastor Joshua Selman's teaching, because that is the one that really reflects on this season of fasting and prayer. Every other episode will bless you, and it will shape in you the more. And that's all I have for you on the Rema Minute with AT. God bless you.